everyone. So we're on Monday the 18th of January for English. So we've got 2 more days left on the snail and the whale, and then we will have finished writing the story and we will move on to something else. So you'll need a pen, a pencil, whiteboard, pen, whatever you're using at home. So let's get started. Okay, this is your warm-up. So it's still about your capital letters and full stops, and you are going to have to be a detective again and put your detective glasses on and spot the mistakes in this sentence. So it says, on Friday, I went to the playground with my friends. We had a picnic and played on the slide. Now, all of the words have been spelt correctly, but there are not capital letters in the right places. So you need to have a read through, have a think, where do you need a capital letter? And then you can either say to your parents or carers, or you can say to me, where there needs to be a capital letter, or you can rewrite that sentence and make sure the capital letters are in the correct places. Okay, so either way, pause me here and then unpause me when you're ready. Okay, so last week we were looking at adjectives, and today we're going to have a look at adjectives as well, but it's changing slightly. So this time we're going to think more about how the characters are feeling. We did last week think about how the characters were feeling, but we also thought about how the characters looked, but this time we're really going to focus on the emotions of those characters. So let's have a look at this picture of the whale washed up on the shore. Okay, so we've got to the point in the story where the whale has washed up onto the shore. How is he feeling at this point? Okay, remember, whales need to be in water to be able to survive. So that whale is washed up on the shore and he is stuck. How is he feeling at that time? He's stuck. He doesn't know if he's going to be able to survive. So I've given an example here. The noun, which is the object, so that's the whale, is in blue and the adjective is in red. So you have got the whale was worried. Okay, the adjective there in red is worried. That is how he is feeling. We could extend that and say the whale was worried because he was stuck on the shore, or the whale was worried because he was in danger. But worried is an adjective all about how the character is feeling. Right, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so using the example that we've just done, can you create a bank of adjectives? Now, when I say bank of adjectives, I just mean a list of some adjectives to describe how the whale is feeling at this point. We're still looking at the same picture. There's my sentence there to help you. So we've got the whale was worried. Okay. Can you think of other adjectives that would describe how the whale is feeling? Because there are more words than worried. Okay. I'm going to give you one. Okay. Worried, a really posh word for worried would to be that you are feeling anxious. Okay, that's a really good word to be using. That's really high level language that you're using. So pause the video here and think of other adjectives for how that whale is feeling in this picture. Okay, if you want to write it, you can, but just write down the adjectives. If you want to put it in a sentence already, you can, but we're about to do that on the next slide. Okay, right, let's actually get this into a sentence then. Okay, so using the bank of adjectives that you have created, so the list of adjectives you've created, we're going to write the next sentence in the story. So let's read out this communication in print here. The something whale swam onto the shore. He felt something because he needed water. Now, just a point to remember, where the first question mark is here, where you need to put an adjective. The whale hasn't swum onto the shore at that point, so the fact that he's worried won't quite have happened yet. Worried would maybe come where your second question mark is, okay, which will be after he has swam onto the shore. But the first question mark, he's not quite done that yet, so he won't be feeling worried at that point. He's just about to go onto the shore, but he hasn't done it yet. So think about how you could describe the whale in the first case. You could still say the massive whale swam onto the shore. He felt worried because he needed water. You could say the giant whale swam onto the shore. He felt anxious because he needed water. I'm not going to give you any more because I've given you those two already, and you should have a list of adjectives to help you write this next sentence. So pause the video here, use the communication imprint to help you, and then when you're ready, unpause and we'll move on to the next one. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how the snail is feeling. Okay, we've talked about how the whale is feeling when he's washed up on the shore. Now we're going to talk about how the snail is feeling when his amazing friend who's been on adventures with is on the shore. So look at this picture of the snail desperately trying to help the whale. How is the snail feeling about his friend who he's just gone on this amazing adventure with being in danger? Here's an example here. The snail was frustrated. Now so frustrated means that you're a bit cross, you're a bit annoyed, you can't do something that you want to be able to do because the snail is so tiny and he's trying so hard to help his friend, but he needs other people to help him as well, doesn't he? You could extend that by saying the snail was frustrated because even though he tried, he couldn't help his friend. Okay, the snail was frustrated that he couldn't move the whale. So can you again create a bank of adjectives? So that's a list of adjectives about how the snail is feeling in this point of the story. Okay, so pause me here, create your list of adjectives about how the snail is feeling, and when you've created that, unpause me and we'll move on to the very last slide. Okay, here we go. Here is our communication and print here. So using your list of adjectives, you are going to put an adjective where that question mark comes. Okay, so this says the snail was something because he couldn't help the whale. So the snail was something because he couldn't help the whale. Our example from before was the snail was frustrated because he couldn't help the whale. But you should have a list of adjectives about how the snail is feeling to be able to put where that question mark is. Okay, sorry, I feel like I've spoken a lot in that one with a lot of information, but you guys are so good at using communication in print and you know what that question mark means, so I'm sure you will be fine with this. Can't wait to see your pictures on the portfolio, and have a lovely day, and I'll be with you for English tomorrow. Okay, thank you, year one.